Hey everyone, so we finished dinner and some of you got on and saw where we had dinner. It was beautiful. It's actually literally right across from where we live. So I forgot to show you because they were coming to us to take our order. So I forgot to show you that we are literally right across from that restaurant. So yesterday I was doing a live and I recorded the whole thing. It was about drama, but it was also about how to deal with COVID and how to deal with the masks and how to deal with all this different situation. And for whatever reason, that particular live just disappeared. So it just disappeared. I have to probably connect with them and see that why the bots took off that particular live, but some of you were on it at the beginning, so you saw it. But let's forget about drama. And I'm in the mood now, and I hope that many of you are in the mood now, of the fact that we already developed our version of antibody, okay? So the emotional antibody. I think a lot of us have gone through some major shifts. A lot of us have gone through some of this major catharsis, because when I made my little video a couple days ago, like a week ago, about my catharsis, I had a ton of people connecting with me saying that they did have the catharsis. So, if we had that, after catharsis comes rejuvenation. After catharsis comes rebuild. After catharsis comes that new life. So let's start focusing on that new life. So today what I wanted to ask you about is what are your plans with your new stuff? So let's say you may have, like I had some students that had actually they were graduating from school, graduating from college, and they already had some jobs lined up, and they actually had interviews and everything, and they were looking for him. They were essentially almost like shoe-in, and out of the blue I get the message from them saying that the school district doesn't have the money anymore, blah blah blah, and they are freezing the hiring. And same thing with us in the university, right? That I am pretty sure that going to be a hiring freeze on us too, because they're gonna need to find a way to even rearrange our schedule. So what are your plans? But I would love to know, because this is exactly what rebuilding is about. And I just came out, it's going to be like a huge storm coming, if you can see that, like right there, and then it's going to be over there. Okay, so what are your plans for rebuilding? Like what are you gonna hang your head on, or your coat on, or your life on? What are your plans for rebuilding? Let's start the rebuilding process, because I'm just a little bit done with all the other stuff. And I'm not saying that we completely emotionally survive this, because we are far from it. In fact, you know better than anybody else that I know that it's going to have an incredible effect. This whole process going down is going to have an incredible effect for months and months and maybe years to come. But let's forget about that for a moment. I want us to talk about today, what is going to be your rebuilding process. So for example, 2 months ago, when everything started to go downhill, I had a very nice individual, high-level mastermind going with, really good people in it. Good money as far as that was concerned, plus my full-time job, and plus I had a bunch of speaking engagements and engagements with potential universities that were going to work with me on my test anxiety work, which is still a significant part of my job. And literally everything just kind of like shut down, and I would say 2/3 of that just disappeared. Now, I am in an extremely lucky position to have a full-time job, so I didn't feel the effect of it as bad as those of you who have no other jobs, okay? That's not gonna be good, I don't think, but maybe it's better. But the question is, what if you haven't done it 2 months ago, what are you planning to do about it now? How are we going to replenish what we had before? What did you do? What are your steps? So, for example, sorry, it's not good with the wind, but I don't want to go anywhere else. I just feel like being here today. So what I've done is we are, my team and I, who I was extremely lucky to be able to retain because they just cut their prices because they said, you know what, during the lockdown, let's just stay together. Let's just work on our goals together. And I have, hopefully someday you guys will get to know my team. They are the most dedicated young people. They're incredible. First of all, they are incredibly talented, and that's one of the things that we're going to talk about as we're moving forward, is how to build people around you that's going to support you even in the tough times. They are incredibly talented, they are incredibly dedicated, and they are incredibly good-hearted, and they knew what we were building. So instead of like about 2 months ago when all these things like really shut down and started to hurt, I had that moment of like, you know what, I just want to give up. I'm done. I've done so many angles of this, and somehow every time it's just some kind of a thing comes, and now a pandemic comes. I'm just tired of it. But then I realized that if I stop doing what I do, then I'm not gonna be able to help those people that now in the last 2 months, literally daily now, I'm getting messages from people that just absolutely melt my heart, that what these videos meant to them, what the fact that I was available even on the side to talk to people, to put them in the right direction, what was meant to them. And these are the things that really worth more than anything in this world. So I really just want to know on this video, and if you haven't thought about what you're going to do and how you're going to be using your strength, your power, whatever you think is your talent, if you haven't thought about it, I advise you, ask you, request, hope that you are going to do that now. Let's get started. Let's get started like the next 7 days. Let's get started and think about what's the one thing that you're really, really great at. And even if you don't think that you can monetize it, forget about what you think, because everything can be monetized. Everything can bring you an income. So that's just a self-limiting belief. But and this is where I usually get the most questions. There's what do you mean everything? I said everything can be monetized in modern world, because we live online. There's always a buyer for what you want to sell. So trust me, everything can be monetized. So you can make a living on anything, from egg painting to knitting to anything. Okay, so just trust me on that. In my last 10 years in social media as well as in online business, taught that lesson to me. So there's nothing is impossible. So what would you want to do? What would be the one thing you would want to do? So these are the things that we're going to be building our next month around, is to try to help you get to that understanding and figuring out. And then and I just want to know what you got. What do you think you got? Okay, so that's what I wanted to work on today. Is really I wanted to focusing on rebuilding. I wanted us to start moving. I'm not saying that you can completely move away from the pain and the emotional stuff, because obviously we can't, because some of you are still in a lockdown for absolutely no reason apparently. But that's for another day. But let's just figure it out. I'm not saying no reason as far as the virus is not real. The virus is very real, because obviously I know that. I mean, people don't die and don't get sick, like really, really gravely sick and ill, if it's not real. I'm just saying that some parts of the country had absolutely nothing going on. I mean, I checked one of those charts where I would see that some place in like a big a big state would have like 600 cases, not 600 deaths, 600 cases. So that's what I'm trying to say. It's just a different thing. But the point is, forget about all that. We accepted it. This is a situation. Believe it. What are you going to do about your own life? What kind of role model are you going to be for your children that see that maybe you have lost your job and now you are, just kind of like in yourself feeling like a victim. What are we going to do about it? Let's not be a victim. Let's get out of it, and let's start the rebuild. This is beautiful. Summer months are coming up. Let's start that rebuild. Okay, so let's work on that one. All right, everyone. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I was going to share it with you from like right across from there, because that's where we were. We were having dinner right there, but then the waitress came to ask what we have for food, so I'm sharing it with you now. All right, everyone. So have a good night, and I will be talking to you tomorrow. And I hope that you're gonna post either personally, either there in the comments, or personally that you have been doing, because I know. Okay, you know what? Let me say one more thing. Many of you are posting me and messaging me privately. I want you to know that I really appreciate any form of communication, because that's the only way I can help you, right? But don't think that your stories and things that you're sharing with me are your issues only. All of us are experiencing some form of a loss. So feel free to put in the comments. It's not going to, just please understand, it's not going to make you look any different other than quote unquote normal right now. If you have not experienced some form of a loss under this whole stuff, then again, you are like a robot or I don't know, an alien. Because if you're a human and you didn't experience loss, then that you're definitely an alien. All right, everyone. So share it in any way you can. I really appreciate it, and I will respond to it. Hi, everyone. Have a good night.